Hey folks, Gabriel Kevin here. A great installment on my channel, how to make real Philly cheesesteaks. And not only that, we're also going to make Philly buffalo chicken cheesesteak with fried onions and mushrooms. Here we go. Ingredients: we need onions, we need a knife, we need mushrooms, we need olive oil, we need salt and pepper, and we need the rolls. How you doing? There, the rolls. Best thing. And we also have some corn on the cob, if you would like to have that too, which is always great with cheesesteaks. Okay, so those are the main ingredients other than the actual steak, which we're going to talk about soon. So here we go. The next thing you need, obviously, is a pan, which you're going to fry up your mushrooms and onions. Nice non-stick one is always good. And something to stir it with the plastic spoon there, because it's non-stick, you don't want to hurt it. And 2 spatulas, if you could get 2 spatulas. One is to work the cheesesteak while it's cooking, and the other one's to slip it off into the roll. Then you need a griddle, and I wouldn't recommend using an oven pan or anything like that. A griddle like this, where it has a drip pan, it has a little timer on it, it's a flat surface. You also need cheese, because we're making a cheesesteak. Haha, that's pretty cool. That is fresh cheese, even though it's in a wrapper from a deli right around the corner from where I am. And I am in Philadelphia, or outside of Philadelphia. Okay, so what's the first thing? First thing, you want to make the fried onions and the mushrooms, because you want that ahead of time before you start cooking the steak. Hey, how you doing? So, if you didn't guess, I'm Italian. So, the way I do is I cut it like this, and, you know, just slice off that skin, cut off the ends, and then you want to make it so that they're kind of like small little strips, because they're going to cook down. They're going to cook down pretty fast. So the way I do that is, after I cut some more onion, so let's cut some more onion. You want the onion to be in the oil, really soft, no hardly any crunch, because it's going to mix in with the cheesesteak. Okay, so now we have cut the ends off of the onion, and we are now also going to slice them. So I cut down the middle as such, and as I have trouble doing it, not necessarily a chef. And then cut down the middle one time. Try to hold it together. Again, I'm not a chef, so this is me just doing this in my kitchen. And then just start slicing it like that. And now the onion's going to fall apart even more by itself, as you can see. And you just keep slicing it until you get as much done as you can. And I would say we're going to make 1 big Philly cheesesteak and 1 medium buffalo chicken cheesesteak. So 2 onions like this, 2 medium onions should be enough. Depends on how much you want to put in it, right? Okay, now, first thing, olive oil. Please use olive oil. Stir it around a couple times like that. Stir them around so they get all greased up with the olive oil. And, you know, chop it up. You don't want big stringy long onions. You just want to just break it apart. So just break it apart. And then we are going to go to the mushrooms. And these are fresh mushrooms, even though they are in a package from, again, the deli from where I live. So they take fresh, and you can see they are fresh mushrooms. And they cut them up and they put them in package so you don't have to buy the whole ones, which you could. And, you know, it's easier. Okay, so you turn the heat on and you start cooking them. And these are going to take a while. So the mushrooms are going to break down with the onion. It looks like a lot of mushrooms, but trust me, see, as it's going, the mushrooms get smaller and smaller and smaller. Now, I'm not here to teach people how to cook fried onions and mushrooms. I'm just showing you what I did do for this Philly cheesesteak. So you just keep cooking it down and keep cooking it down, and the video is going to go on for a little bit because I'm still cooking it down. Now, I haven't even started with the cheesesteak. This is just getting, now if you just want a Philly cheesesteak, just don't do this. Or if you just want fried onions, then just do the fried onions. Or if you just want mushrooms, just do the mushrooms. And another great thing to put on it, which we're not going to show in this video, is Italian long hots. Cooked up nice and soft and hot. And you put them in there too. Oh, it's amazing. There's a place in South Philly. I'm not going to mention the name, but you know, I can eventually tell you, that puts in these long hots in the cheesesteak. They're actually on the Wildwood Boardwalk in New Jersey, and it is hot stuff. So anyway, if you look at this, these are now cooking down. Look how small the mushrooms got. The onions are looking really good. The steam is coming off. This is really happening. Okay, so then you're going to turn this off and let it sit, because you're going to turn it back on later when you're going to use it. The rolls. Italian roll. I do not use hard rolls. No, no, these are soft rolls. I got one long one for the cheesesteak, which is going to be for me. And then the chicken cheesesteak, buffalo chicken cheesesteak for who is eating with me. So you take the roll, you cut it out. You want to get this done ahead of time. And cut it again. And just make sure you do not cut through. Do not cut through. It'll ruin the whole thing. You'll never be able to hold the steak. Okay. And then you're going to do, now what I do is I take it like this, and then I'm going to pull it out. And then I'm going to press it down. Because I like it pressed down like that, so I can fit as much cheesesteak in as I can, because I love cheesesteaks. And you put that there, and then you do the other one, and they're both done. Okay, now you got the mushrooms and onions on the side. You got the rolls ready. Now on your griddle, before it gets hot, again, olive oil. So I put a little bit of olive oil on it like that. Maybe that's a lot, but here's the key. You take a paper towel, and you just rub it into that griddle. Now, griddle is kind of like a coarse type of surface, so it's going to absorb in there. You don't want a pile of oil, no, because the steak is going to produce that for you. This is just to keep it from sticking and to give that little olive oil flavor, because hey, we're Italian. Now this is the frozen steak. You buy this, and that's the frozen chicken cheesesteak. Okay, it's called chip steak, but it's frozen. There's 2 slices in each one, real thin. Now the griddle's hot, and you just peel off, and in between each of the paper is 2 slices stuck together. It doesn't matter, because once it starts cooking, it's all, you can see there's 2. It's going to fall apart. It's just all going to fall apart. No, and so you just keep putting this on here. Now, it seems like that's going to be a lot. It's not. It's all going to get, wait till you see. It's going to get chopped up. So you just keep putting it on. If you look at the one on the left, it's already starting to cook, and there are other ones that are going to catch up to it. But you're going to cook these, and you're going to chop them up, and they're going to turn brown, just like you would see in a normal Philly cheesesteak. This is not the best meat in the world. That's what makes Philly cheesesteak so great. Now, you can pile these on anywhere. I just keep putting them on. It just takes a second to peel them off, because they're frozen. You want to do it when they're frozen. You don't want to do it when, because if you already look at the ones at the top, they're already cooking. It defrosts really fast because they're really thin. And then I'm going to do another one. Now, I didn't do the chicken yet, because the chicken's going to take less space, and I need to get these started first. So if you're just doing cheesesteaks and not doing the chicken one, I just wanted to show the chicken one. You can just pile this stuff on and just keep piling it on. Now, I have it on high, and if you notice, look at that. It just starts, once it gets warm, it just falls apart. See, it's starting to turn brown. And you just use that spatula to break it up. And if you see this in a deli, in anywhere in Philadelphia, you get chicken cheesesteak. I mean, cheesesteaks and chicken cheesesteaks. Fast forward here a little bit. The griddle's getting hot. If you notice, it's just all breaking it up. It just melts, and it just does that. And then you just start chopping it up and let the heat continue to melt it and continue to cook it. Now, I know for the size roll that I have, that's not going to be enough, because I like it packed. I don't know who wants a cheesesteak that's not packed. So, put more on. Now, we also put the chicken on after, if you can see, so much of the cheesesteak's already cooking. Now we put the chicken one on, which is going to take a little longer. I've already chopped it up. Now, look at the left side. Is that beautiful? There's still some red in it, but it's cooking perfectly. And that's what you do. You just chop it up. You know, you don't use filet or anything like that. You use this stuff. This is what's going to taste great. And you notice, look at the oil coming out of that steak, and that's just really making it really look good. That's a really nice pile of that steak. Yeah. And then I also chopped up the chicken. So what you're going to do, and it gets burned a little bit like that, that's totally fine. This is all going to be with the cheese. It's all about the cheese. Everybody says it's all about the roll. I say it's all about the cheese and the roll. So now I'm kind of breaking it apart into 2 sections, because one pile of that is going to be half the roll, and the other pile of that's going to be the other half of the roll. I just can't fit it all in one long thing. Now, everything's cooked. You heat it up, your mushrooms and onion, how you doing? You just put them on. Put it on that guy, you put it on this guy, and then this guy, and that guy. And you just pile them on as much as you want. I like it combined, perfect amount of mushroom and onion. And you just put it right down the middle. It's fine because it's all going to get mixed together. Hey, you mix it together. That's what you do. And you just keep piling it on. So, what's the most important part is coming up? Yeah, it says the roll. No, I'm going to show the most important part. Other than using that kind of steak, the real important part. Oh, wait a minute. Hold. We're doing a buffalo chicken cheesesteak. So let's add some buffalo sauce. And as much as you want. And just put it down. And you know, it's just all going to mix in. This is not just going to lay on top. Trust me. Trust me. You're just applying it. Okay, so now we have the mushroom, the onion, the steak, the chicken. We also have the buffalo sauce on there. What's next? What's next? The cheese, American cheese. Don't use anything else. Don't use provolone. Don't use Swiss. American cheese. That's supposed to be Italian, right? But use American cheese. Okay, so now I put, about 3 pieces on it to start. And I put a couple on the other one. And I like mine cheesy, so I'm putting another layer of the cheese onto the cheesesteak. Now, if that melts like that and you serve it, you failed. You're out of here. That's not how you do it. You have to have the griddle up pretty high so the steam coming up is melting the cheese. See? There it is. Let the cheese melt and chop that cheese into that steak. Use the edge of the spatula. Now the cheese, look at that. Now the cheese is infusing into the steak or into the chicken. There. And now, the more you chop up that cheese, the more the steam's coming through, melting the cheese more. It keeps going and going and going. We can't stop. And I just keep chopping it up. Now, if you can't serve it like that, you got to keep chopping it up. And this happens really fast in a good deli. I mean, they're going boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And their griddles are probably a lot hotter than mine. So, now look at that. After I've chopped it up, look how that cheese is infusing into that. There is your cheesesteak. That's the Philly cheesesteak. The cheese is inside it. The mushroom, the onion are all chopped inside that beautiful, beautiful thing. Look at that. Then you let it sit and melt more because you want all that cheese melting into that steak. And look at that. It's not laying on top. It's not laying like, a grinder or anything. It is in there, and it's also in the chicken one, and it's chopped up too. There's the key. Put that cheese on there, let it melt, chop it up, let the steam come through, and it's now infused. So anywhere you take a bite of this cheesesteak, you'll get cheese. It's impossible not to. You get your roll, you get the big spatula. There it is, the big one. Now, this is going to serve the chicken one first, so this is going to fit really nicely. And if you do this after a while, you figure out how much to use to fit into the roll or how much you want. But it should fit into the roll, both sides covered. So when you fold the roll, it's like this round thing in the middle of it that has all that great stuff in there. And if you use the long hot would be, I'm getting so excited. The long hot would be in the middle. And there you go. You lay it on there gently, very nicely. It's an art, so you don't lose any. Keep putting it on, and just any extra, obviously you're not going to let that go, so you got to put that on there too. It's really hot. It's not going to get cold very fast, but the minute you do this, you got to serve it because that's what they would do. Look how beautiful that is, and you fold that together. It's really nice. Now, a little more than normal. I put the first half of that pile into half of the roll. Now there's going to be a little overlay. Oh, look at that. And then the next one goes at the other side of it with a little overlay. And you can mix this up a little bit so it gets evened out. But here's the key. The ends of the roll have to have as much as the middle. You don't eat a Philly cheesesteak and get to the end. It's just bread. Look at that. Beautiful. Hey, what do you say? Do it. Thank you. Hope this was fun. Take care.